On Greyhound View this week, we look back at the second round of the Tote Gold Cup, plus the semi-finals of the Joe Dunne Memorial Puppy 525 from Shelbourne Park. We chat with Eddie Holland on his last night on duty at Curraheen Park. And General Manager of Shelbourne Stud, Brian King, showed us around his impressive facilities in County Tipperary. But first, it's racing from Cork. Curraheen Park hosted the semi-finals of the Guinness Trophy last Saturday night, a competition which always attracts a lot of attention. Mal Keaveney takes us through the lineup.
First one we see is CLONEYS Rocket, owned by James Ormond in Killarney and trained for him by Mossy O'Connor, a son of Sinead's Slaney and Clone's Survivor. Next up, it's BOHERDUFF Light for Salvador and Sheila Drohan in County Tipperary, the first of two runners for trainer Owen McKenna. Running in the white jacket, it's Jordan's Elect, steadily improving in this stake for trainer Brian McCann, a son of Top Honcho and Cairn Mistress. In the black jacket, it's TALAVARA News, and this one an English Challenger, a son of Top Honcho and Forever an Angel. Next, in the orange jacket, it's GLENSKE HONCHO, jointly owned by Michael Donoghue and Joe Ryan in County Wexford, and the trainer is Johnny Donoghue. And finally, we have DROOPYS AGASSI, the second Owen McKenna runner, the property of David Miles. This one really has tremendous all-round pace. Owen McKenna with two runners here. BOHERDUFF Light is in box 2. DROOPYS AGASSI. Kennel Companion is in 6. Here comes towards traps on their way in racing. And out wide, it's DROOPYS AGASSI that gets away very smartly from GLENSKE HONCHO. It's DROOPYS AGASSI that runs very, very wide, but still holds the lead now from GLENSKE HONCHO. That's the 1-2. CLONEYS Rocket is up into third. Out front, it's DROOPYS AGASSI now by 3 lengths at the third bend and is holding on in front. The battle is on behind, but it's still the stripes of DROOPYS AGASSI as they hit the final bend. A couple of challengers out there, BOHERDUFF Light as well, but it's DROOPYS AGASSI that holds on. CLONEYS Rocket and BOHERDUFF Light well there also. A check now on the result of the first of the semi-finals. It's a win for DROOPYS AGASSI in a good time of 28.43. Second, CLONEYS Rocket, and third, the fast-finishing BOHERDUFF Light.
It's nice to get the two of them through. Like DROOPYS AGASSI came away better tonight. He's still running very wide, giving away a lot of ground, but he's there. Like, and BOHERDUFF Light missed the break a bit tonight. He's like usually a front runner, but ran a very good game dog now to get through. So he's in the final, that's what counts.
Dogs are on show now for the second of the semi-finals. And first we have Heavenly Pride, the trainer Johnny Donoghue for Tony Head of England. Very consistent individual. On now to the bitch that is CLEO for Pat Buckley, a daughter of Larkhill Joe and KILN Heather. This one possesses tremendous back straight pace. In the white jacket for Dan O'Mahony of Mill Street, it's MOUNTLEADER Gara, a son of Staples Joe and MOUNTLEADER Ruth. Next, Sleek Bill for Christopher Roach, the trainer being Christy O'Callaghan, a winner last weekend in 28.55, the son of Split the Bill and Sleek Rose. The one with tremendous huge all-round pace is Barnfield Ranger for Dennis Duggan, the trainer Christy O'Callaghan again. This one won last weekend also in 28.41. And finally we have SINABHFUILBERTIE for Dennis Murphy and Harry McCarthy of Whitechurch. This one too won a week ago in a time of 28.47. Barnfield Ranger is the one with the normal early pace. How about tonight? 3 to qualify for the final, and the traps rise, and it's a fairly level break. A very level one. CLEO surprise leader, the bitch into the opening bend in that blue jacket. CLEO now leading from Barnfield Ranger in the orange jacket, and Barnfield Ranger's eating up ground and moves in there to challenge with CLEO into the third bend. On the rails, it's Barnfield Ranger. CLEO is still holding on behind his MOUNTLEADER Gara. They hit the final bend, and it's CLEO, and CLEO is going to upset the odds here in the second of the semi-finals. The result of the second semi-final, it's a win for CLEO in 28.74, followed home in a tight finish by SINABHFUILBERTIE and Barnfield Ranger.
We didn't expect to win. We thought she had a chance with the fast breakers on the outside, and we thought that she might get her on the inside if there was trouble on the outside. But she broke us like a bomb tonight, I think more than usual. So it was slightly unexpected, I suppose.
Sporting legend Jimmy Barry Murphy was on hand to perform the trap draw for the final of the Guinness Trophy 2004. In 1, CLONEYS Rocket, 2, BOHERDUFF Light, 3, CLEO, 4, Barnfield Ranger, in 5, SINABHFUILBERTIE, and with the stripes, DROOPYS AGASSI.
Brian King has been involved with greyhounds for 25 years as an owner and breeder. He met fellow Englishman John Marks, whose ambition was to set up a breeding farm in Ireland. Brian came to Ireland at the beginning of the Shelbourne Stud project to oversee the $750,000 development.
Before I actually came over, we got the local auctioneer to build the house for us. And then I came over and designed the kennels and the runs, which I based on one of the top stud keepers in America, a guy called Dutch Kerner, who this setup is based on his. Originally he had long runs and found he was getting too many injuries. So he came up with this system, which he calls controlled exercise, which would be a series of 4 small paddocks, holding pens, with a big paddock 100 metres long by 40 metres wide, to let the dogs out. One lot of dogs is let out in the morning, the next lot are let out in the afternoons, and then the third run is let out the next day. So they all go out for a run every other day. And we find that it's been working great for us. It works for Dutch Kerner, and the kennel that I work for in Abilene, Flying Eagles Kennel, they copied Kerner's, and they are now probably the #1 kennel in America. The race kennels are actually based on the brood bitch kennels as they have in America, with the outside runs and a sliding door from the kennel. The race kennels in America are all crates, which I didn't really like that system. So I've based this on the brood bitch kennels they have in America. We can do the whole kennel, clean the whole kennel within an hour. And then it allows us to be able to turn dogs out five times a day, so as they're in and out and cleaned out. So it just makes life so easy. The gallop we constructed, there's a land drain down through the middle with a layer of filter medium, which is called Taram. We put that on, there's 6 inches of sand on it, then 4 inches of sawdust, which is very, very easy on the dogs, and you can gallop in all weathers. Being so much rain in Ireland as there is, sand it would just turn to pudding, and as this land is bogland anyway, it would have been worse. So we had to come up with a different system. And I spoke to a guy who told me this system would definitely work. And it works absolutely brilliant for us. We never have any trouble. We've never had an injured dog on it. Shelbourne Star was the very first pup we bred here. We only had a 1-pup litter out of rapid passion. She was reared in a way that breaks all the rules of. She was reared here just as a pet. She was given tidbits. I threatened to sack all the staff because they kept going, and she was always on a lead. She was on a lead walking up the gallop at 3 months old. So I never ever thought that she'd be any good. She won the Breeders' Cup trial stake and then went on to win the Breeders' Cup at Shelbourne. And we were getting loads and loads of calls for her, and there was no way she was ever going to be sold.
But she was subsequently sold to Roy Fellingham on condition that she would return to Shelbourne Stud on her retirement from the track.
When we first came over here, we bought a dog called Shelbourne Park off of Frank McGurr for the intentions of going for the English Derby. But he went over a bit late and was unable to be prepared properly for the Derby. I gave him to Paul Hennessy, who in turn went on to win the Northern Ireland Derby for us. We retired the dog, brought him back here, and I think the dog came out of retirement more than any other dog in the history of greyhound racing. When he finally beat Clover Hare in his last race, we decided that was the day to retire him. But the thrill of having him was nothing compared with the thrill of having dogs like World Class and Shelbourne Star, which we bred ourselves and reared ourselves. Nothing could compare with that. And the thrill goes on now because we're able to use World Class as he's standing at stud now, and we've just bred him to what I consider to be the best brood bitch I have, Faithful Susie, as her 2 sisters are the two best brood bitches in America. So we're hoping for something pretty special out of these. I tend to rear pups the way I was taught by Dutch Kerner in America. Dutch had always impressed on me from 3 weeks to 9 weeks of age is when a puppy's nervous system is formed. So they must be handled in those 6 weeks. At 3 months old, we put collars on every dog, which they get used to the collars. Whenever we go in, we handle them by the collars. So it cuts lead training out. You don't need to lead train. As soon as you put a lead on them, they've always had a collar on, so they don't know any difference. Because you tend to leave everything till they're 12 months old. Bring them in, lead train them, put muzzles on them, try and get them to chase, adapt them to kennels. It's all too much for them. It takes too long, it confuses the dogs. From 3 weeks of age, a dog is in training for racing. So you bring everything on gradually. The good thing about it is we're able to buy what we consider to be the best. Doesn't mean they're always going to throw. It embarrasses me a little bit by a lot of people. They all come around, what a beautiful place you've got, it's lovely here, I wish I had it. But there was a lot of good dogs born under a sheet of tin. We don't want to be known for having a beautiful place, we want to be known for having good dogs, or breeding good dogs. And at the end of the day, that's what this place is about, breeding the best.
The vibrant greyhound industry, as we know it today, was built on solid foundations. Not just the racing, but the people who've dedicated their lives to the sport. The Holland family are such people, with Eddie, Noel and the late Pat steering the industry through the bad as well as the good times. In 1957, while living in America, Eddie was drafted into the US Army. He served his 2 years and then became involved in greyhounds there. On his return home in 1962, he first worked as a clerk. A couple of years later, he took the job of control steward.
When I was young, we used to walk our dogs from the Friars Walk to the Western Road to race and walk them home again. People hadn't cars that time, and if we were going to Youghal, we'd hire a taxi and go down by taxi. I remember it was $2.50 to take a dog to Youghal by taxi and back, which was 60 miles. From family generations, they keep just breeding dogs, and something like GA fans or something like that, they just stay at it. In that time they'd give up for a while, but they'd always come back. Or I saw it like fathers that had dogs and their sons didn't keep dogs and their grandchildren now have dogs.
So what was Eddie's routine like 40 years ago?
Oh, I'd leave home about 6:15 and I'd be in the Western Road at 6:30. I lived in Blarney. And fill in the cards and then start weighing about 7 o'clock. They had to be in by 7:30, then the first race was 8 o'clock. And we'd only 7 races that time. Well, I suppose the biggest change is the new stadium and the crowds. Like in the old track on a Saturday night, we'd have approximately about 700 people. And here we'd have 14 to 1,800 people. Like nearly 300% increase. And like that's the main thing I see. And then the facilities here are excellent. A lot younger crowd are going to the track now than in my time, like when I started. You would get very few young people unless they were with their parents. But now it's all, especially Saturday night, it's all young people.
Well, I think people found him very fair and very efficient. He was a steward of the meeting, obviously, because he's a control steward, and he was always had his own opinion. No one could ever change his mind, and he was always very fair, no matter who it was. If Eddie thought the dog had to be held for a satisfactory clearance trial or something like that, he always stuck to his guns. He was very efficient. He was a man that he was meticulous in his dealings. He was in always very early, and he had dogs waited in time, and he was, he'll be a hard act to follow.
They're great people in greyhounds. I have all kinds of friends from all walks of life, and I don't know, I've been in their houses and had tea and had my dinner and shared a lot of their joys and their unhappinesses and sicknesses. I remember one day calling to a lady, and she was telling me when she got up in the morning, their daughter had a sore throat. And she said to her husband, I think we'll have to take her to the doctor. No, he said, I must go up to Roscrea. The dog was coughing, I'll have to take him up to Roscrea, which was 100 miles away. Forget about the daughter, the dog had came first.
Eddie Holland was also the most helpful man. And my family and all our family would say the same. For marking pups, he'd make a time for you. He used to always call to my house for a cup of tea, and he loved the chocolate cake and he loved biscuits and all that. And his wife, a beautiful person as well. But overall, when you come in there to people, he was always helpful.
My sons keep dogs. My grandson has his dog now, and I'll give them a hand with him. And my son keeps a few horses, and I'll give him a hand. He's maybe booked all ready for the week after next. They have a full week's work. You know, so I love horses as well as dogs.
A fitting tribute to a man who has put in so many years to the industry, and yet it rarely seemed like work, such as his love of the sport.
It's great to work at your hobby, you're happy at it, and I've been very happy for 40 years, and I'll miss it.
It was the end of an era as Eddie performed his duties for the last time after 40 years of service. On behalf of everyone in the industry, we wish him a very happy retirement. There was a great night's racing at Shelbourne Park on Saturday night to include the semi-finals of the Joe Dunne Memorial. But dominating proceedings was the second round of the Tote Gold Cup. First, let's look back at the semis of that Joe Dunne Memorial.
Well, the runners now in traps for the opening semi-final of the Joe Dunne Memorial Puppy 525. In 1, Farron Lady. 2, Almost Pushy. Trap 3, Serene Impulse. In 4, Velvet Dynasty. 5, Lost to Fortune. And 6, Make All. The favourite racing in trap 1, that's Farron Lady. And away they go. Number 3, Serene Impulse, makes a very fast start. Now number 1, Farron Lady, showing good dash on the inside. Then comes number 4, Velvet Dynasty. Around the corner, Farron Lady goes to the front. From number 4, Velvet Dynasty. Back in third, number 3, Serene Impulse. Number 6 now, Make All, showing good dash. But it's number 1, Farron Lady, the favourite, leads into the third bend. Number 4 now, Velvet Dynasty, continues to second. But here comes number 6, Make All. He's forced to check at that point. It's number 1, Farron Lady leads into the home straight. Velvet Dynasty looming large on the outside. Here comes number 6, Make All on the inside. Up the home straight. Number 6, Make All checks there. It's number 1, Farron Lady, Make All. And Farron Lady desperately close on the line between Farron Lady, Velvet Dynasty and Make All. Will leave that to the judge. The winning time 28.92. And the result of the opening semi-final of the Joe Dunne Memorial Puppy 525. First was number 6, Make All. There was a dead heat for second between number 1, Farron Lady, and number 4, Velvet Dynasty. The winning time was 28.92. The runners now in traps for the second semi-final of the Joe Dunne Memorial Puppy 525. In 1, Top Performance. 2, Tell 'em Tommy. Trap 3, Greenview Storm. In 4, the favourite Disguised. 5, Droopy's Lark. And 6, Joe's Gift. Once again, the favourite in trap 4, Disguised. The hair up behind boxes, and away they go. And first to show us trap number 1, Top Performance. Leads up from number 2, Tell 'em Tommy. Then comes number 4, Disguised. Number 5 now, Droopy's Lark, showing big dash. Around the opening corners, this number 1, Top Performance with number 4, Disguised. And number 5, Droopy's Lark in chase, but out front, still number 1. That's Top Performance. Here comes number 4, Disguised with number 5, Droopy's Lark. Into the third bend. Number 1, Top Performance leads. Droopy's Lark is flying on the outside, as is number 4, Disguised. Around the final bend, Disguised goes to the front. Number 5, Droopy's Lark in chase. Then comes 1, that's Top Performance. But up the home straight, it's number 4, Disguised. Wins in style. Second, number 5, Droopy's Lark. It's close for third. The winning time, a very fast 28.66. And the result of the second semi-final, trap 4, Disguised, an impressive winner. Second, number 5, Droopy's Lark. Third, trap 2, Tell 'em Tommy. And the time, 28.66.
And the trap draw for the final of the Joe Dunne Memorial 525. In 1, Velvet Dynasty. 2, Farron Lady. 3, Tell 'em Tommy. In trap 4, Droopy's Lark. 5, Make All. And in trap 6, Disguised. Michael bumped into champion jockey Kieran Fallon, whose dog Talbot ran in the second race of the evening.
You would, of course, you would have had a lot of greyhound connections when you were growing up down in County Clare.
Yeah, there would have been, you know, over the years. It's something I've always had involved in is the dogs, you know. It's actually one of my favourite animals, and I used to keep them even when I was an apprentice in Kevin Prendergast. I always had a couple of dogs, but struggled to get a good dog, you know, but hopefully, you know, over the next couple of years I'll pick up something that'll be a bit decent, you know.
What's the big hope for the year, Kieran?
We've got plenty, so we have, you know. Russian Rhythm stays in training. We got a lovely bunch of colts this year, you know, and Red Bloom ended the year last year when the Groom won. She's one of the fanciest for the 1,000 guineas, and you know, endless number of really good horses. So, you know, really looking forward to it.
Well, there's some classic prospects in action here tonight as well. What do you think of Shelbourne Park?
I love it. I mean, I've been coming here over the years, you know, and Desi Scal used to commentating here, and you know, great memories. I love it here.
And so we move on to the big guns in the second round of the Tote Gold Cup. €30,000 awaiting the winner. And in the first heat, we had a much anticipated battle between the early pacers, Pete's Noble from 1, Chief's Order in 5, and Phoenix Ice also attracting plenty of support.
In trap 1, Pete's Noble. 2 is Phoenix Ice. In 3, Dunlow Prince. 4, Ryan Crew Silver. In 5, the favourite, Chief's Order. And finally, number 6, Maeve's Strength. Here now coming around the final turn, up behind traps. The dogs all set. And away they go. And first to show is trap number 6, Maeve's Trend. Number 3, Dunlow Prince also going well. On the inside, number 1, that's Pete's Boss, but around the corner, it's number 1, Pete's Boss. Number 3, Dunlow Prince and Chase. Bit of bumping and barging behind. Number 5, Chief's Order at the tail. But number 1, Pete's Noble, leads down the far side. Number 2, Phoenix Ice and Chase. Then comes number 3, Dunlow Prince into the third corner. It's number 1, Pete's Noble with number 2, Phoenix Ice. Then comes 3, Dunlow Prince, and currently running in order. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's number 1, Pete's Noble, leads around the final bend. Here comes number 2, Phoenix Ice, coming to line. Pete's Noble and Phoenix Ice is desperately close between Phoenix Ice, who perhaps got the call. Second number 1, Pete's Noble. The winning time, 28.87.
He too also had plenty of early pace, particularly Altesse Assert from trap 2. He had been so impressive in the early round when setting up a big lead, but in against him, that great bitch Legal Moment, unlucky in the first round, and also well drawn in 5, Samurai Jack.
The runners, 1, Rampant Drive, in 2, Altesse Assert. In 3, the favourite, Legal Moment. 4 is Lethal Weapon. 5, Samurai Jack. And 6, Oasis Rumble. The hare now coming around the final bend, the favourite in trap 3. That's Legal Moment. And away they go, and first to show is Legal Moment. She flashes from trap 3, but now number 2, Altesse Assert, indeed does assert into the corner. Number 5, Samurai Jack in second. Now number 3, Legal Moment goes second again, but it's Altesse Assert, leads down the far side. Number 3, Legal Moment in chase. Then comes 1, Rampant Drive, down into the third bend. It's 2, Altesse Assert. Legal Moment now is full stride in second. Back in third, number 1, Rampant Drive, but around the final bend, number 2, Altesse Assert, leads into the home straight. Number 3 now, Legal Moment, powering up to the outside. Number 3, Legal Moment, should assert, coming up to the line. Legal Moment gets there. Altesse Assert runs a screamer in second. Back in third, number 1, Rampant Drive. The winning time, a very decent 28.68.
The third heat featured the 2 fastest winners of the opening round, Spinner's Choice from trap 4 and Indian Ruler, perfectly drawn in 6. Also there, Zigzag Hurricane, bidding for a 4th success on the trot, while Bucky Burglar, the Derby finalist, in trap 1.
In 1, Bucky Burglar. 2, Fairy Gate. In 3, Thundercut Alley. 4, Spinner's Choice. In 5, Zigzag Hurricane. And trap 6 is Indian Ruler. The hare now coming behind the traps. The dogs are all set. And away they go. And first to show is trap number 6, Indian Ruler. Now number 4, Spinner's Choice going up well. Into the corners, Indian Ruler with number 4, Spinner's Choice. Number 5, Zigzag Hurricane. But Indian Ruler goes round in front. Number 4, Spinner's Choice gives chase. Then comes 1, Bucky Burglar. Down the far side, Indian Ruler is 6 or 7 lengths clear. Number 4, Spinner's Choice. Number 3, Thundercut Alley comes next with number 1, Bucky Burglar. But it's still number 6, Indian Ruler, that continues to lead. Number 4, Spinner's Choice, now showing signs of fatigue. But Indian Ruler looks all over a winner at this stage. Number 3, Thundercut Alley finishing well, as did number 1, Bucky Burglar. But number 6, Indian Ruler wins it. Second, number 3, Thundercut Alley. And third, number 4, Spinner's Choice. The winning time, 28.71.
The last of the heats was a 5-dog affair. Number 3, Dalcash Hotshot, an absentee. But First Charter, Derby finalist, was there from trap 2, and also the early pacers Drumsna College and BMO in the outside boxes.
In 1, Weatherman. Trap 2, the favourite, First Charter. Trap 3, Dalcash Hotshot and Non-Runner. That trap will be vacant. In 4, Coulivanny Eddie. 5, Drumsna College. And 6, BMO. The hare now coming up behind traps. The break, all important. And away they go. And First Charter flies from trap 2. Now number 6, BMO showing big dash. Number 1, Weatherman on the inside, but around the corners, BMO that leads. Oh, Weatherman now leads from number 2, First Charter. Back in third spot, number 4, Coulivanny Eddie. Down the far side, it's Weatherman by 2.5 to number 2, First Charter. Then comes number 4, Coulivanny Eddie. But number 1, Weatherman, is going to lead round the third and fourth corners. Number 2, First Charter, is trying his best to close, but it's still number 1, Weatherman. Number 2 now, First Charter, is putting up a challenge on the outside. Weatherman and First Charter coming to line. Weatherman and First Charter. Weatherman holds on. First Charter second. Back in third, number 4, Coulivanny Eddie. The winning time, 28.76.
Next week, we have the finals of the Joe Dunne Memorial and the Guinness Trophy, along with the semi-finals of the Tote Gold Cup and highlights of the Tyro Open Bitch 550 from Galway.